welcome to another interesting edition of the program, Issues of the Moment, coming to you live on television, Nigerian broadcasting here from Abuja, Nigeria. My name is Nten. Now, at every point in our national lives, there is always one issue that will come up for discuss, and that is the basis for which we always come your way every week. Now, being a pre-election year, there are always matters that will come up in our political life. And to discuss the state of the nation with me as we count down to the 2019 general election, I have with me a very distinguished Nigerian whom, so I don't use the wrong adjectives or pronouns or nouns to describe him, I would love him to let us into who he is. My guest today, let's get to meet him. Nice to have you, sir.
Thank you.
Let's tell Nigerians who you are from your own words.
Okay, I am Dr. Jalil Tafawa Balewa, a Nigerian, a very proud one at that.
Okay, will it be that?
That's fine.
Some people may want to say, is he a businessman? Is he a politician?
I am.
What does he do? So by way of vocation.
Okay, I'm a medical doctor. I'm a nuclear chemist also. I, just like 200 million other Nigerians, can be called a politician.
Okay.
I just thought about it from his prodding.
Okay. After all, how last will say we are all political animals.
Absolutely.
And says so.
Absolutely.
It's just about giving the right platform to exhibit our political tendencies.
This is true.
Okay, it's fair enough so we can work with the fact that you're a medical person, you're a politician.
Good.
And of course you're a father.
Absolutely.
Okay, now in Nigeria right now we're counting down a couple of months to election count 2019.
Yes.
And the political atmosphere is almost very charged.
Yes.
Pending INEC will lift the ban on political activities. What's your take on what has been happening in the political scene so far?
Well, right now, you just I see Nigeria going through the same types of feelings or same types of actions that a woman will go through towards the end of gestation, where you get Brownian movements, the child is kicking and so on and so forth, but nobody can actually see the child. Now, there are a lot of things in some of our congresses all over the place. You hear of some slight violence here and there, or some parallel congresses, and so many innuendos and so many accusations, all building towards a crescendo. Mm-hmm. It's quite interesting.
Now, someone may want to know what is interesting in parallel congresses where a supposedly united family cannot exhibit the unity that is expected of a so-called united family, using the All Progressives Congress, just concluded congresses, as an example.
Yes, this is one of the things we need to learn about how democratic institutions work. A united family does not necessarily have to be united, but outside, at least to the face they show the outside world, they should be united. That is a part that our parties have not learned. Okay? The disruptions within, they let it erupt and crack their walls on the outside, and that's why lizards can float all over the place. Even though they may have some problems within, they need to find a way to cement those, because by the time all these things continue to fester, there will not be a party by the time election comes.
Yeah, someone may want to argue that presenting yourself as united on the outside, meanwhile you're having an internal crisis inside, might be a product of what some people see as the in-code failure of this present government, because to them, the coming together of other parties, CPC, AP, AC, and all of those that came together to form the APC was just a marriage of convenience to wrest power away, not because it came with a policy or some kind of concrete laid plans to salvage the Nigerian state.
It could be. This is not the first time in history where there will be amalgamations, okay? And what we have could have worked, and it still can. However, there are too many, for lack of a better word, untruthful politicians in our midst. People who are going into politics for their own gain. So, when there's a distribution of post-board elections and this, that, or the other, and it doesn't come their way, so nothing is working right. But as you well know, within your own family, you may have a discord with your wife, you may be angry with your children, but when somebody comes, it's not the time to put boxing gloves on and be boxing your wife's face or hitting your children or anything like that. Now, that will be seen as animalistic. That's what we're doing now.
You know, when this administration started, let me take it to the National Assembly, the emergence of the incumbent Senate President was, according to media reports and what we heard, not what the party wanted, as it were, because the party, it was alleged, had a preferred candidate for the position of the Senate President. Has this impacted negatively? Because we had scenarios where we saw the party trying, in a futile way to get him out of the place and probably get someone in. Has it impacted negatively on what we're having right now as a democracy, 19 years after, plus 3?
No, you see, you cannot take it 19 years deep. See, in Animal Farm, all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. See, there were core APC people. Not that I'm APC or PDP. I didn't confess to being a member of either one.
Okay.
However, you had core APC people. You had some disgruntled, some scared, and some unsure PDP people that went into APC just for convenience. You know, we still have that in Nigeria, where people, just for convenience, will defect to a party because they don't want to be bothered, by the instruments of a ruling party or anything like that. Now, that's what happened to the Senate President. He was a stalwart of the PDP. He now just overnight became an APC politician. And there were a lot of people who came in who were stalwarts in the APC that didn't think he was true to himself. And they opposed it. And I think that's democratic.
Now, 3 years down the line, we're still finding rift, not just in the Senate or the National Assembly. It has crossed to other arms of government, specifically the executive, where we're seeing some kind of legislature and executive rift. And in the not too distant past, we've seen situations where an executive appointee, like the Inspector General of Police, has, in quote, flouted National Assembly orders of invitation, come and explain why we are having pockets of violence and all of that as a chief security officer in the police force, as it were. And that hasn't come to pass. And then we're seeing the Senate President being accused of sponsorship of armed robbers and stuff like that. And another character in the person of Dino Melaye, who also defected to the opposition, now ruling party, as it were. Is this all part of what you term like the story of the Animal Farm, which I think is a satire anyway? Is Nigeria? Is the story of Nigeria a satire?
It's very satiric right now. One, the fact that we had people in the ruling party that now they always want to be in a ruling party, so rather than stay in an opposition party and be vilified, decided to move shop. Obviously, one thing should be very clear, that neither the APC nor the PDP have any deep ideology. So it's really easy. If there are deep ideologies, you're not going to see a Republican in the United States just cross carpet to the Democratic side. It's unheard of. Okay? But here in Nigeria, the thought of democracy and what the politicians actually stand for and what parties mean to the members have not really been defined. So you have this political class, and the term political class is really amorphous. It's very cloudy. Move from one place to another. No, they're just following just the smell of food. You know, okay, no, if I stay here, I'm not going to be making the zillions I was making before. I need to just go on the other side. I'm going to now plead my loyalty. And that's it. But based on absolutely nothing. So there will constantly be, you know, ruffles where somebody is angry that someone who didn't fight with us, who was really not part of us at the beginning, is now enjoying all the spoils of war when I should be there. It isn't as if they're really thinking about Nigeria and what Nigeria needs to do to get better, or what we can do to move Nigeria away from this morass. We have so many things going wrong. Everybody is fighting some internecine fight amongst themselves on absolutely nothing. How many governments in this political dispensation that we call it democracy have really taken note of how many students we have in primary, secondary, and university, and in our universities? What have they done to create jobs for those coming out? Our governments used to do that before the military. The military can be forgiven for never being trained to rule large populations. But what about the civilians? You know, and we continue at this pace and just have absolute nonsensical, idiotic conversations about who is rigging this and why does this person have 2 PVCs when people don't even know why they should have a PVC in the first place. We've got to have real, true democracy where our people need to choose other people that can do their will. That is not what we have now in Nigeria, unfortunately.
Very unfortunately, as it were. Now, coming from that analogy of yours, place that vis-a-vis the NPDP set of governors and other political stalwarts who defected prior to 2015 election, threatening or coming up with some kind of demands and saying that we haven't gotten, you know, enough recognition and other stuff or other perks that we need to have, having worked assiduously to install or bring, you know, to fruition the aspiration of President Muhammadu Buhari. And they have threatened to say, if you don't do this, we may back out. Does that paint the picture of someone who's looking for where the food is, like you did in your analogy?
Yes. Okay. Where is their constituency, this NPDP? Just a group of people that are disgruntled either with a former government or with this government. But what's their constituency? Who do they represent? Who does the APC represent? Who does the PDP represent? What ideologies do they have for people to even follow them, except thuggery and hooliganism? We've got to get to a point where we have things that we can tell our people we're going to do so and so over this period of time, and if we don't do it, put my feet to the fire. We don't have that. For as long as somebody can get 5,000, even 1,000, and sell their soul for the next 4 years, that's important.
Quite sad.
It is very sad. Makes our lives very cheap. And I know that God created this great country and inhabited it with some fantastic minds. But when we have mindless governors that promote stomach infrastructure and everybody thinks it's a good thing, what do you expect?
Now, just the president has come up with another master stroke, I would like to call it. There was this announcement that we now have a new democracy day, as against May 29, that we have always recognized since 1999, since the inception of this unbroken democracy we had for the past years. And there are feelers from many quarters. Okay, it's fine. It's a good way of placating those from the southwest. It's a deserved honor for MK Abiola, may his rest in peace, and Gani Fawemi, who we understood had already turned down a national honor before now, and also awarding him Baba Gana King, who ran with MK Abiola. What's your take on that? And the PDP, we read, has come to say it's a desperate bid to sway votes from the southwest in order to actualize a quest for power, as it were. Do you agree with some of those suggestions or submissions?
Well, some of it. I mean, if it's a bid to get some electoral numbers, it will be sad. However, there's no part of our constitution where you can give this type of honor posthumously. That MKO Abiola is honored is very nice for, just for Nigerian hood itself. However, I think it's a little late to do that. People that have been waiting for a long time, I think it's okay. For me personally, I think it's a little late. What we can do would have been to have a Moshood Abiola Day, just like a Martin Luther King Day. Okay. Right now we have too many holidays in Nigeria, and we don't prosecute those holidays properly. They should be for economical gains. That's how it's done all over the world. Now we have a democracy day, where we're going to have another one soon. What exactly are we doing? Usually, you will find out that in capitalism, holidays, people look forward to holidays for sales, for things to do with the family, and so on and so forth. Here, it seems as if we just wake up, we must have a lamp day tomorrow, or a microphone day the next day. What does it do to our economy? The number of days we have off, and a lot of unionists may want to argue with me. I have nothing against them. I just think we waste too many days in the year for the so-called holidays. This holiday, the one that the president just brought out, should have been a potent day for forgiveness for all of us, all Nigerians. But it should have been Moshood Abiola Day, as opposed to moving the Democracy Day to another. He did a lot for our democracy. He laid down his life, not intentionally, but so many other people did that too. Right from January 13th, 1966, so many people got murdered unnecessarily. But that he came at the time that he came, and it's the fairest election that we have had. I think he deserves, for lack of a better word, a martyred day. Moshood Abiola Day.
Being that it's an executive order,
Yes.
an executive pronouncement, do you foresee a situation where probably another government comes in with probably better logic as to why we should have a day set aside to recognize him, celebrate him and the ideals he stood for, or what the day meant for the Federal Republic, if actually, do you see it coming to pass where, say no, let's revert to May 29 Democracy Day, but let's just remember Moshood Abiola on that day?
I think that would be a sensible thing to do.
Okay.
Just to recognize the ideals and to now go for those ideas. That's why NIM, the Nigerian Intervention Movement, was set up. Is to be able to promote the ideals of Nigeria, or of what makes us Nigerians and what we remember as Nigerians.
Okay, yeah, we're getting close to 2019, and people have come up with a lot of reasons why they think the president shouldn't recontest. People have come with so many reasons. Like, he is the president that should, be president post 2019. I spoke with the leader of a support group for Buhari, and he said, check the whole of Nigeria right now. There is nobody, those were his words, nobody has the credential and the moral justification or capacity to be president except Muhammadu Buhari until 2023. And of course, he signed the Not Too Young to Run bill and appealed to youth and said, do not run until after 2019, meaning he still wants to be president and stuff like that. Some people have come from the angle of his health and putting up reasons like the economic meltdown we face, that we're struggling to get out of the recession. There have been bad economic policies. What's your take and what's your recommendation looking forward to 2019?
I think that's very laughable and myopic for anyone to say that there is nobody else in Nigeria that can that has the right size of shoes as President Muhammad Buhari. We have a whole load of Nigerians that can run Nigeria and do very well for Nigeria. I think that President Buhari is a Nigerian. He has the right, even at age 150, so long as he's a Nigerian citizen, to put out his ideals to be able to run this country. It is not for me to tell him when to or not to run. I do know, though, that there are a lot of Nigerians with the right type of education, the right type of exposure, and the right type of intelligence to be able to bring this country into the Committee of Nations in the 21st century. And I present the man sitting beside you, also.
I wish we had more time. Time is always our challenge on the program.
Me too.
Yeah, probably we'll do a second edition of this or another episode another time.
My door is always open.
But I'd like to thank you very much for giving us access to your place to talk to you about issues concerning Nigeria.
Thank you.
And we do hope that one day you may be saddled with the responsibility of turning around Nigeria. That would have been great going.
I will take it without blinking an eye.
Let's look forward to that day. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
And that will be the much we'll take on the program, Issues of the Moment, for today. I'd like to thank you very much for being with us. Join us sometime very soon. Until then, do enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye-bye.